The other day, I was trying to explain to someone about cryptocurrency, why it exists, and trying to get them to like invest at least $100.
Yeah.
And that person said, "Why? Like, why should I put $100 into something that I can't see, touch, or feel? I don't even know what it is. Why don't I can always put it into a CD or whatever. I can buy anything with it, something that's tangible. I don't even understand crypto. So can you please give us a little rundown on what crypto is? What's the bigger picture of crypto? Why does it even exist? And just bring us up to speed on that part."
So the reason, without going into another tirade against the banks, the reason crypto was created. I can? Really? Are you sure?
No.
Because I want to. All right.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not a tirade. All right.
I'm the one that's swinging this. If he loses it, I'm the first one to go down. All right. So why crypto? I mean, it's a legitimate question that many of us have. Why are we even dealing with crypto? Why is it even in existence right now? What's its purpose? Really, what is it?
If you own a house, I want you to think how much it cost to build that house.
Okay.
Is the cost that it cost to build congruent with the value? I mean, you don't have to be a construction foreman to say, hey, there's let's say there's 400 2x4s in it, right? Let's say there's some drywall, there's some plumbing, there's some electrical, there was a lot of labor involved maybe. It costs maybe, and I'm no construction foreman, we can get a construction foreman on here, that'd be fantastic.
That's me.
Oh, you construction foreman?
Yeah, I used to work for a company nationwide company, where we dealt with prefabricated homes. And so we sold homes throughout the nation, and my job was to be a problem solver for them constructing them. So to buy some of our prefabricated homes, we had packages that were like $28,000. We had a $38,000 package, and then like the deluxe, like colonial, like real big homes were no more than $55,000 or $65,000 worth of materials. So that's it. You know what I mean?
This is what we're talking about. It's $50,000 to actually make a house, right?
That was then. You have to you adjust it, but you're not going to really run into. I mean, I would think as far as all the materials and whatnot, you're probably not going to drop over $100,000 to build a very, very nice home. As far as the materials,
luxury materials, everything.
Yeah.
So homes nowadays are going for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, sometimes even $1 million. Cars cost more than $50,000. All right. Homes do not cost that much to make. The reason they cost that much is an overinflated housing market, and the reason it's overinflated is inflation. Is because the government it's not some conspiracy. It's just it's incompetence. The government is being extremely short-sighted and saying we want the economy to run smoothly today, and we don't really care what happens tomorrow. So we are going to print a lot of money, and we are going to inflate the money supply. And what we are going to do by doing that is we are going to keep people happy today and not worry about tomorrow. And what the effect of that is that house prices have become unsustainable. They created a bubble like 2008. There's another bubble right now. There's a bubble in stocks, a bubble in housing, a bubble in all kind of stuff. And this is done not because there's some, mustache twirling conspiracy at the top. It's done because of bureaucratic incompetence. Because they can't plan for the next decade or the next 2 decades or the next 100 years. They can plan for the next 10 minutes because they have to keep politicians happy. And politicians want to keep their voters happy in the moment. And they are not insulated from this political pressure. And so they have to keep printing a lot of money. And when they print a lot of money, it causes inflation. It causes these costs to differentiate from reality. In reality, a house costs $50,000,
$100,000 max.
Maximum in materials for practically.
That really depends. Like some areas are you know, like that home in Minneapolis, you can get a really great home for like $300,000.
Only 3 times as much as it actually costs.
Right.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and nobody without a really huge salary is going to ever pay off $300,000 in their entire lifetime. Are you? Maybe, if you're going to pay off $300,000 in your lifetime, congratulations. You are in a minuscule percentage of the population. I'm not knocking you. Great. Enjoy it. Buy a bunch of Bitcoin with it, all right? But for the rest of us, $300,000 may as well be $1 million. It's this totally incomprehensible sum of money.
Right.
And this means the whole financial superstructure is built on a house of cards. It's just this inflationary stuff. They just keep making it. Prices keep going up and up and up and up. The value of the dollar keeps going down and down and down and down.
And this has nothing to do with political parties or anything. I know we want to kind of...
Both of them are on the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Both of them use the money printing machinery for different ends.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. So that's that. Because I know some people feel like we're maybe taking a slight angle one way or another. You can actually remove the parties and just see that it's the incompetence that Nick is saying is driving it, right? And then there's incompetence on both sides. Yeah. So once we are able to recognize that, maybe you can get out of your my side is right, your side is wrong situation, and just realize that incompetence is on both sides. What are you going to do as a citizen to rise above that for the best of our community as a whole?
Exactly. And to put that in a financial kind of bubble, what you can do is buy some Bitcoin. You know why? Because Bitcoin is supply capped. There's not going to be any more Bitcoin than 21 million. And that was a lot more people than 21 million, but you can break Bitcoin down into smaller and smaller pieces, so that's not really an issue. Once you use Bitcoin, prices start going down, not up, because the value of Bitcoin goes up over time, not down, because it's supply capped.
Okay, now we get that. We're going to get more back in that later. Let's go back to my friend who is like, why do I even care? Why should I care? What is it? What role does it have in my society? I get what you said as far as bringing us all the way there, what the banks have done and blah, 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 blah. But if I'm just the average Joe and I want to participate or not participate in this, what value does it give me?
Now or in the future? Are you talking about right now and within the next year or 5 years, or are you talking the future as in like the next 10 years, the next 20?
Well, I think for the future, I mean, I get it for the future. We can talk about the future, but you mentioned something which I thought was really interesting, which is our society is really like a, what do you call it? We want answers now. That's part of the reason. That's part of the reason why our inability to be patient for long-term results is the reason why we have inflation.
Exactly.
Because we want something right now. So somebody's all upset, pissing on an electric fence, trying to, get something driven up or down right about now. So then they harp at the politician. The politician puts things in order to do exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
So for that individual that is impatient, how is it going to behoove them? What is crypto's bigger picture for them?
Bigger picture is that crypto forces you not to live beyond your means. So for regular people, the analogy is credit card debt. If you have an immediate, it could be a need or a want. If you have something immediate that you got to get taken care of right now, you're going to reach for that credit card. And
you get like a bigger expense when I don't have the money to pay for it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I get hurt in my elbow and I got a medical something and it's going to cost me $5,000. I don't have $5,000 in the bank.
Exactly.
I put it in a credit card.
You put it on a credit card. And it could be something legitimate, like, hey, I hurt my elbow, you need to get $5,000.
Right.
It could be legitimate, or let's say it's
a luxury.
It could be a luxury.
Like this watch.
Like this watch, exactly.
Right.
Elbow or the watch. The elbow is legitimate. No, excuse me. I don't know the elbow or the watch. I mean, the elbow is legitimate. The watch It's not illegitimate.
It's a luxury.
It's a luxury.
It's a luxury.
You didn't have to get you had to get your elbow fixed.
Yes.
You did not have to get the watch.
Yes.
But you're going to reach for the credit card for both.
Yes. Yes, most definitely.
And that is what's going to get you in trouble.
Right.
Because you're going to get in a lot of debt to the credit card company, and the credit card company is going to say, hey, now you have this unpayable debt, and now you're living out of your car because you swiped the credit card.
Right. But crypto, bam, is going to be about what you need.
Exactly.
It's going to be about the healthy structure of what life should be about.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can have your bling if you wish and go ahead and live beyond your means, if you will. But as far as the meat and potatoes of life, which, theoretically could be, more valuable than something that's flashy.
Exactly.
Now, I just want to go on record saying that I'm a complex individual. That's why I have 2 watches on the day to demonstrate to you that I have, this is why we come to this moment here, because people are complex. There's not one right or wrong. But if we are complaining about a lot of stuff that's happening into our world, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency allows us an alternative to try to put some ballast in all of this madness that's happening in the world right now.
Exactly. And if you want to really tie this in, this may not be something that your average Joe is really going to see right away. But this is planning for the future. Cryptocurrency allows something called degrowth to happen. And what degrowth means is that you have an economy where there is less production and more value. And this is totally backwards from modern economics. Modern economics says...
Yeah?
Yes, exactly. You got it. Degrowth. And what modern economics says is we want the most production, we want maximum production, we want the highest GDP we can, we want maximum employment, we want maximum economic activity. We want to max everything out. We want people buying more stuff. We want people consuming more stuff. We want more of this. We want more of that.
I've even heard some of our commanders in chief saying things like, go out and buy things.
Go out and buy things.
Go out and buy things right now. I've heard that before.
That's what modern economics says, and that is unsustainable because that is perpetual growth.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you are a far left environmentalist or a far right economics major. Perpetual growth is not sustainable. Perpetual growth is made up. You can't have an endless bull market that just goes up and up and up and up. You can with Bitcoin, but that's not a market.
Right.
That's a value.
Right.
Something.
So it's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy
for people to think that things can keep building upon itself until infinite.
Eventually, you're going to get a bear market. Eventually, something is going to come down.
Something's going to tumble.
Eventually, something is going to
What goes up must come down.
Exactly.
I have the answer to the one thing. There's one thing that goes up that doesn't come down. But for all other things, there is what goes up will come down. Okay?
Exactly.
I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to think about the one thing that goes up that doesn't come down.
I don't know what it is.
I'll give you
Bitcoin's price, but that's a whole.
Okay,
This is not an economic thing. This is a value.
Okay.
And the reason this value goes up and not down is because its price is constrained.
It's locked.
It's not its price. Yeah, it's locked. Its supply is constrained.
Yeah.
And the law of supply and demand says that when you have heightened, exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
So for my econ majors, you guys get this. This makes sense for you. Have you come up with your answer? What goes up doesn't come down.
Helium?
I think it comes down eventually. All right, so if you have your guess, this would be a good time. If we had a little QPC card, I want somebody to zap it right now. This is a good time. This not even a dad joke. This is just a bad joke.
All right, what is it?
What goes up doesn't come down. Do you have an answer?
No.
Your age.
Oh, gotcha.
I started talking backwards. I hear about the institutions telling me that it doesn't go back. I don't come back. It's my fault.
That's good. You saw that movie Benjamin Button and you're all good.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that one, but I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question is,
Can we get there? So, is it a reality? Is it a kind of a financial utopia that makes us kind of feel good about making change and bucking the system, but in reality, we're just living in a fantasy of our own?
Well, so here's the problem. The money printing is not stopping.
No.
The money printing is only getting more and more and more and more and more. It's only getting worse and worse and worse. So eventually, the value of the dollar is going to keep falling. And some people, not everyone agrees with this, but some people believe that eventually the dollar is going to get to hyperinflation territory, where they just have to keep printing more and more and more. To take, for example, the stimulus. They had to do the stimulus. I'm not knocking the stimulus, but they had to do something. But when they did it, they just printed it out of thin air. They didn't pay for that stimulus. They just told the Federal Reserve, hey, give everyone $2,000. Everyone just magicked up. They got $2,000. You can't just magic it up, because you know what happened? Prices went up. And every time they do that, prices go up.
This is what I don't like. This part here, I mean, he's spitting some logic right here, but this is the thing. We're constantly chasing our tail in this situation. Even like with I'm not an econ major. I am here to convert information to layman's. That's what my job is, and to add a dose of entertainment. But things that I don't, it makes sense to me, like if we make our minimum wage go to $15, but then we raise movie prices up $5 more, it's the same thing. You guys, let me tell you something. When I started working, minimum wage was $2.65.
I can't even contemplate a $2.65 minimum wage.
Yeah, my first, I worked for I got like a little government thing job or whatever. It was called CETA. It was like to help train you, like under job training type of thing. I made $2.65. And then I got my first kind of launch of a job was with at Burger King. I worked at Burger King for a moment. I was making $2.65, and we were like, when it went to like $2.90. When it went to $2.90, we were doing backflips. We were like, oh my God! Like really like attempting to do a backflip over that 15 cents or whatever it was. $2.90. So. But then again, I mean, the cheeseburger was 26 cents or whatever the case was. So
visualize this:
right,
a 26-cent cheeseburger. Can you even imagine a 26-cent cheeseburger? No, it's a joke. A cheeseburger is like $10 now if you get the combo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, and I'm not knocking all the restaurants, because
that's not their fault.
You have to do what you have to do. But the bottom line is, I went to prior to COVID, this place had. Pho was $8, $8.25 for this place. I went there 3 weeks ago. That same pho from the same friendly faces that served it to me, $13 for some pho.
You see why people?
And then that's what made me want to say, get the out of here.
Exactly.
$13, and this is what I believe Nick is trying to say, is that we're chasing our tail by printing all this money, driving driving your dollar down while the money goes up in order to sustain this unsustainable, almost absurd situation.
Exactly. It's not sustainable forever. Eventually it's going to come crashing down. And when it does, you want some of this. You want a piece of this pie. You don't want a piece of the pie that's all crashing down. That is what you want.
Okay, so that's why that answers my question. What's the bigger picture in crypto? The bigger picture in crypto is just this. Inflation is going to happen because we cannot sustain constantly going up. It will eventually crash. We're not trying to put fear into you. It's just the way things go, right? It's just like if you get an animal, right, and you love that animal, time will happen, and then the animal is going to, unfortunately, transcend into dog or cat or rodent heaven. And that's just going to happen. So with this situation, we're not trying to put fear in you. We're just saying that the trajectory
Exactly.
of common sense is going to say eventually it's going to do that. Otherwise, we're going to be paying $60 for a hamburger, and the minimum wage is going to be $85.
Exactly.
It's impossible. So why crypto? Why crypto is because it is built in with the system
Exactly.
that is going to protect itself
Yes.
from inflation.
Crypto is an off-ramp to the $60 hamburger.
There you go. I love that. I'm going to have that in my mind all day long. Crypto is the off. When somebody taps me on the shoulder, why crypto? I'm going to say because it's the off ramp. I love it. I love it. That's great.
yeah.
That's great. All right. So if you guys please comment, give us your information. If you have anything new to the whole crypto game, please add it. If there's topics that you want us to cover, please add it. If you have any commentary about the different perspectives that we often try to share, please comment, and we welcome you and thank you all for watching.
Awesome.